What is up, cool cats of the interwebs? This is Haley back at you again with another episode of Buy It, Try It, or Deny It. This time for the month of December 2020, we have made it to the end of the year.
Woo! Thank God.
It has been a wild ride, as we all know. But for anybody new joining in, let me introduce you to my normal squad of dorks. We have Brennan.
Yo.
And Mike. So, kicking it off, we are going to review the games that we talked about for November. First of all, November has been wild. We're also going to talk about the release of the latest gen console, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. But before we get into that, let's talk about some video games. We're going to kick it off with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's a action RPG developed by Ubisoft Montreal, published by Ubisoft. It came out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and of course Xbox Series X. It released on November 10th with the PS5 version coming out on the 12th, of course. And it has a top critic average of 84 and 91% of critics recommend it. I'm currently playing this on PS5 and I love it. Hands down love it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the first to kind of apologize about what I said last month and how I said that I thought that this was gonna be another boring slog rendition. I completely apologize. I've been enjoying this so much. I really have.
It's I don't know what to really say. Like it's gritty. I should say that. It's a Ubisoft game. It's not 100% polished. It's not 100% refined. It's not 100% perfect. But the dialogue and the voice acting is fantastic. I think the story is great. They don't bog you down with a lot of markers, which I really like. You kind of just have to find everything on your own. So I like that no one's holding my hand. There's also a lot of vertical now, where I feel like in the past two games there was a lot of just horizontal flatling. I feel like in why I did Odyssey, now you have hills, you have mountains, you have a lot more climbing and going up inclines. I feel like I am playing Assassin's Creed again because I am doing Assassin. Like, you can hide in the bushes now, where before you were in a fucking desert. Where the fuck do you expect me to hide? You expect me to fucking crawl through the sand like a snake? I can't breathe in sand. I'm just this.
It's been a wild ride so far. Like, I really enjoy the narrative mostly. Apparently, it's this guy, the guy who wrote this game. If I'm remembering this correctly, was the same guy who wrote other past ones, like especially like Black Flag. The ones that are kind of known for their narrative, they were written by this guy, and I forget his name, and I apologize so much. But I really feel like he's just done a fantastic job of like keeping a story that's kind of simplistic. It's like a brotherly sort of quasi revenge story, that immediately grips you in, giving like this almost Shakespearean intro where they like almost tell you what's gonna happen, and you're like, oh, when is this gonna happen? And so many times in the narrative you're presented with these little vignettes of like, is this the moment that it happens? Like, is this it? And it's just continually teasing as the game goes on, and I just love its narrative. I love how the grand narrative is also interwoven into these smaller regions that play in that are quests. Each one serving their own little mini story that's self-contained, and some of those have just been fantastic as well. Some of the characters that you come across are just crazy, like Ivar, the one guy that has like really long hair on one side and shaved on the other, and he's just this big asshole.
Oh, like, the Ragnar sons?
Yes, yeah, that guy, yeah. He's the best character. Like, he's like the worst human being ever. But it's just so funny to watch him interact with different characters in here, especially Ivor, which I have to mention, as Haley said, the voice acting is beautiful. I love voice actor. I haven't played too much with the female, so I can't quite comment. But Ivor's male voice actor is just so captivating, and I just love that the way Ivor is written. He's not this like stupid meathead kill everything Viking. You know, he's someone that's very bound by honor, and he has this interest in poetry where, like, even if you don't do some of the flighting / rap battle quests, he'll still just talk and rhyme, and sometimes, and it's just so funny to see this man that's just killing people left and right all over, just speaking rhymes. And you're like, what am I doing? I love it.
I'm a
It's not
bard.
perfect, as Haley said. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're the quintessential bard. You're a skald. You're just chilling. Um, I've been enjoying it. I do think that it is still a little bloated. Like, yes, they removed all the map markers, and I feel like the things that you do on the map are way more interesting. Like, every section that I've been to, I just get as many wealth things as I can. I just knock them all out. But the mysteries and the artifacts, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But the ones that I've done have been so interesting. Like, I don't, from something as simple as like chasing a couple of kids and saving a dog to, like, I don't know, carrying around this one healer who uses her blood to enhance the crops. And you have to decide, like, if you bring her to her crops or if you bring her to someone who needs her help nearby. And these tiny little things that are completely insignificant, but they just leave this lasting effect. It was like Red Dead Redemption 2's like stranger missions in a way. I love it. I love it. It's a little bloated for my taste. Like, I've already put 40 hours into it and I'm still nowhere near done. I would kind of like to have some plot happen soon, but I mean, it's like I can't complain really.
I really like when you get the option to either choose the female, choose the male, or have for you, I did go with just outright choosing the female just because that's who I wanted to play as. I played as Evie a lot and basically the whole entire time, just because I always prefer playing as a female character. So I picked her, and I think her voice actor, whoever she is, because I honestly is phenomenal. She comes across as a very strong and independent type, and I think that's really important. Doesn't let any bully her, even when she is fighting a whole bunch of and she's vicious. She doesn't let up. She fucking pounds for the dirt. So that makes me happy because, like, I feel like I can take on anyone besides a level 90 character. Don't do that when you're level 20. I'd rather.
Yeah. I don't know. People do have some complaints about the progression and the combat, but I felt like the progression was kind of interesting. It was like, but it very much reminded me of Path of Exile, where it's kind of overwhelming at first, but once you get your hands dirty, you get to understand what's going on.
In the beginning,
Um,
I definitely feel like it is confusing. Start out, you are in. So I was
yeah.
kind of sitting there like, okay, well, I'm supposed to have my own settlement eventually. So where is that? When is that going to start? And you don't, depending on how fast you play that first scene, like it took me about 4 to 5 hours to get through that first, all the way from when you first start.
Yeah.
So like honestly, like if you're going to start playing this game, I suggest just hang out in Norway, do as much as you can, don't rush to get to, because while you can go back, you're not going to really back as you hit. At least that's my.
Yeah, I would second that. I would at the very least, just recommend kind of just getting all the wealth the little gold ticks on your map. And then once that's clear, you could pretty much set off if you want. I mean, the other things are, in my opinion, kind of, the mysteries are for EXP, and I feel like the story progression is kind of generous. Like, I never felt like I had to grind at any point. Even 40 hours in, like, I'm still like well above where I should be for the story. So it's not necessarily like easy, but all I'm saying is, like, the pacing, at least with leveling, has been fantastic so far. I've never felt under leveled or over leveled at any point, but the wealth that you get, you can't get anywhere else. The items that you get are like, they're there for the whole game, and you can pretty much take any weapon you want and max its attributes and stats up all the way. So it's like, if you get as much as you can early, will only benefit you.
Have anything to say? Because Brennan and I have been hogging
So
this
good.
whole conversation.
No. I was letting you go because, quite frankly, I don't really have much to say about this game. I was watching a Twitch streamer play it, and I was like, oh, it looks interesting to me. I do like that they are, you could build your own settlement, you get your own boat, you could do all kinds of Viking shit, which I want to do in a video game because I remember the last Viking game. I mean, I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, but this one does look like they've improved off of the last two and, got a bit more, for lack of a word, creative with it. And yeah, it just looks like a good, solid all around.
I think the only thing I would like Ubisoft to do is polish it, because I know it's not fair to say this, but when you compare it to Ghost of Tsushima, it's night and it's fun. Ghost it was great. It was polished. It was refined. And then I fucking play Assassin's Creed and I couldn't even walk up a set of stairs. Like, there was like a wall blocking me and I had to like keep spamming jump to get up the stairs. I was like, what the fuck is this, Ubisoft? What the fuck? So
It's just annoying.
That's what a few extra years of development does for you.
Exactly. So, like, I love it. I love this game. Ubisoft has slowed down, and I kind of want them to slow down a little. So, for me, I already bought it. It's great. I have nothing to go purchase. But I will bring up one topic later on that kind of pissed. Anyway, next game that we're going to talk about is Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's an action-adventure. It's developed by Insomniac and published by Sony. It was PS5 exclusive, and it came out on November 12th with PS5. It has a top critic average of 85 and is sitting at 94% of critics recommend.
So I don't know. On one hand, I'm like, I don't really know what I expected. And on the other hand, I'm like, I don't really know what I expected. Because at least from some of the reviews that I've read, like, it just seems like a copy of the last Spider-Man with just a new coat of paint on it. Like, there's just snow, and you have Miles, and like not much else has changed. And it's considerably shorter than the original Spider-Man. So I'm like, yeah, I feel like we were all hesitant of this coming in, but I don't know. I'm just a little sad to see it. Like, I have no doubt that it plays fluidly and it's fun, but I guess I'm one of those people that, whether I want to admit it or not, I equate hours played into like how much enjoyment I've gotten out of the game, which is a fault entirely of my own. People are saying this game is like a 6 to 15 hour experience, and you're shelling out almost full price. It's $50 standalone, and it's $70 if you get Miles Morales and the remastered original Spider-Man. So I'm like, they at least chopped off the $10, which is fine. I can applaud them for that, but I don't know. I feel like this would be a game that you would pick up like on a sale, and it would just be the best thing,
I was thinking about playing this, but I watched the Rad Brad play it all the way through. He finished it in roughly 9.5 hours. Main story, with some side stuff sprinkled in.
Yeah, like, that's just... I mean, I get it. I understand. And we all kind of knew that it was going to happen. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, I want to be happy for the good scores, but at the same time, I'm just a bit hesitant just on the consumer side.
I guess.
Which has nothing to do against the game, in a way.
While I thought his story was cool because, like, my boyfriend and I watched the animated one that came out.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Yeah.
We watched that and we really enjoyed it, so I was like super excited for this, and it basically just seemed like an extended version of that. Basically like an extended expansion by a couple hours. So
yeah.
Like, I'm sitting here like, is it really worthy of being called a finger quote full game, even though it is discounted, when honestly you could have just slapped this with the previous gen version and called it a day?
Well, I mean, they did, in a way, and it's like, I feel like you'd be better off if you did not play the original Spider-Man for whatever reason. It's like this would be like the greatest thing ever, because you're getting the original game plus Miles Morales and all the DLC for like 10 extra bucks. Like that, consumer-wise, is a steal. But the problem is that most people, I want to say, probably have already played it, but that's probably just a sweeping generalization. So I don't know. Again, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it would have had to add something major to make it different enough, or just, yeah, I mean, people were calling it like an extended DLC, and even some people were saying that like the DLC of the original game was longer in some aspects than this. I'm just like, I'd shrug. Kind of suck.
Yeah, I've been reading the reviews. People love it. They say, it's really well done. But, from what I've seen, it really does seem like just be a glorified, like, they could have just made this another expansion off of the first game, and it would have been totally.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it didn't add any that was substantially new to make its okay, besides Spider-Cat's but like, I mean, his venom powers are neat, but that's about the only thing that's new. I wasn't impressed with the story. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. The ending is super open-ended, but I don't know.
It's just a shame too, because like the first game, I literally, the ending of that first game, I shed a tear just because of what the drama of what was going on, and just the acting, whoever voice acted into the motion capture for the original Peter Parker, not the Tom Holland wax looking knockoff. That one looks hella weird. I don't want to be the first person to say it, because I'm not. It's not really a brave thing to do, but wax Tom Holland looks like shit. You heard it here. Someone needs to give that man an Oscar, and Mads Mikkelsen in my Death Stranding, but that's besides the point. Someone needs to give that man an Oscar. Shit here. So to hear that Miles Morales doesn't have that care in its narrative is heartbreaking. I want Miles to have a narrative, a story that's worth telling, and like, that kind of sucks. Like, I wanted Miles to have as much of an emotional story as Peter did, and I guess I'm just kind of sad that Miles didn't get that treatment.
Like, I think Miles is a character, and I think if they would have longer, it could have had a better. I'm not saying that the ending isn't heart-wrenching, because it sort of is, but you more so just feel for Miles. You don't really feel for the characters, at least one of the characters, in my opinion, that is the ending. I didn't really have any feeling for, because you didn't really see them at all. So like, I think the story could have been better. I think if the game was longer, it could have been better. I'm very curious to know why they made it so short. Like, I don't know if they just wanted to stick to the basic plot points of Into the Spider-Verse and whatever comic was going on for that, but I honestly hope that they give us more of Miles in there, because Miles is a fucking cool ass kid. He's just super nice. The voice actor's phenomenal for him. I want more Miles. Disappointed that we don't get.
I just hope that maybe this was kind of just like a test. I really hope this game was kind of like them testing the waters, and that thing up, like, especially the ending of the first one left it open, and that plot point continues throughout Miles Morales. I'm only assuming because Peter isn't there. But this is going to have to come to some kind of conclusion. So I feel like moving forward, Insomniac Games pretty much has everything set out for them that they can just hit a home run after this. I'm fully confident in a home run after this. They take everything that they did well with the first game and Miles to the mix as well, and just go crazy, go nuts, and have at it. And I would be super happy, because I really think that, like, I'm at least hoping that Miles gets some better treatment in the future. Not to say that he got slammed or anything here. I mean, he's featured in his own game, but again, I don't know. Miles has just as much of a story to tell as Peter, in my opinion, and I want it to be that. I want it to be as better, if just as good, if not better than Peter's, just to prove a point of like Spider-Man can be anyone.
If it goes on sale this holiday, I definitely suggest. I'm not sure if it's gonna go on sale this holiday, being that it just came out. But if it does go on sale this holiday, or if you get some gift cards because spend somebody else's money and not your own, I definitely recommend. I think it's definitely something that everyone can play on their break when they get a couple days off. When you're sitting around not too sure what to. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much I can say about it. Like, it's the biggest downfall is the length, and that's basically all there is. So, I think it's a high contender for spoilers, game of the year, but there are also a lot of other games that came out earlier this year that it has to end with. So, it's definitely on my top 5. Top 5. Anyway, I'm not a rapper, but we're going to talk about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Now, at the time of recording, this game has not come out yet, because we are recording on the 19th, and this comes out tomorrow on the 20th. So we will be going based off of critic reviews and seeing how all the critics have scored it. But it is a hack and slash game. It's developed by Omega Force and published by Nintendo. It is coming out on the Switch, of course, tomorrow, November. And the top critic average is 80, and 83% of critics recommend. And that is, at least to me, surprising, because that is clocking lower than Assassin's Creed Valhalla and significantly lower than Miles Morales.
It's because it's a Mosu game. Like, let's be honest. Like, not to knock Mosu games, but like Dynasty Warriors has been a franchise that's kind of just, full of Call of Duty, where it's just like done itself a million times. And it's kind of reached the point now where Mosu is really only popular when it's combined with a franchise that people like. Nintendo has done this before with Zelda, obviously, and Fire Emblem. And Japanese Nintendo is doing a Persona 5 Scramble, which is a Mosu, which, that's another can of worms. A good can of worms. Good can of worms. It's like, but it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like every time I see a Mosu, a new one, especially with the franchise that I'm interested in, Breath of the Wild, how could you not want to see what Hyrule was like 100 years before? Crazy. But it's one of those things where it's just like, I hope this one's gonna be the one. This is gonna be the best Mosu ever. And then it comes out and it's just another Mosu game, and we're all like, oh shucks. That being said, though, this definitely, if you're not a fan of Mosu games, you're not gonna like it. But this does seem to have a lot of fan service towards Breath of the Wild. Koei seem to have a real attention to detail when it comes to their collaborations, which is always highly appreciated. It's just one of those things where people just aren't going to like it just because it's a Mosu game. It's just one of those things that's just not for everyone. Some people like mindlessly, carving through thousands of enemies. Other people don't like that, or for whatever reason. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's not really the fault of the game, whereas much as it's just the fault of the genre itself. Like, you kind of picked a hit or miss genre, so I'm not really too surprised. The one thing that I am surprised, though, is that people kind of are supposedly taking issue with some like spoilers territory narrative stuff, which I've been trying not to see, so obviously can't comment on that, but that doesn't really leave me the good taste in my mouth. But you can just kind of flip your hands and go, it's a Mosu game, so it doesn't really count, and then everything's fine. So that's where I'm at. I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta agree. If you don't like hacking and slashing, you're not gonna lean straight up.
Right.
I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, you play one, and you either like it or you don't.
Yeah. And
then you just gravitate towards the franchises that have a Mosu. Like, I had a really big Fate phase a couple of months ago, and the only like Fate game that wasn't a gacha was their Mosu. Played it for a little bit, and the only reason I played it was because it was just Fate version of it. You know, it was just that's all it was. They pretty much all kind of played the same. I mean, obviously this one has the luxury of, and again, thank Koei for its attention to detail. They obviously did change a little bit and use all of the different Chica Slate abilities for each person. Like they all have their own unique ability, which I thought was really cool. Like they could have kind of cheaped their way out on that. And, they all get the same animation, but they all get different things, and that's cool. Obviously, I think the expansion with the roster is neat, but it's one of those things. It's like if you don't like Mosu, you're not gonna like it. Like I can see it kind of being a mixed bag, but it leaning kind of higher than usual. Yeah.
I like hack and slash, so I'm probably fine. I'm just more so curious about the story and about and how all that went down. So maybe after I'm done grinding Assassin, invest my time because I've played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, but I never played the through, so I'm very excited to get back into a Legend of Zelda title. I haven't.
The cool thing is though is there's a demo, so if you're on the fence, just download the demo.
Pretty much.
Well, not everything.
Okay.
But yeah.
So after our review of November's titles, let's jump right into our preview for December. Whoa, it's gonna be December. So first we are going to kick it off with Twin. It's not action. It's an adventure game. It's published and developed by Don't Nod Entertainment. It's coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and it is releasing on the very first day of December. If you are hella bored, aren't sure what to do, and don't really feel like putting up Christmas decoration, you can always distract yourself.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer earlier, and it kind of looks like a mix of Control with the
So Don't Nod did those games.
Life is Strange.
Yes, they did all those games. And I wasn't big into Life is Strange, but this looks super cool. Very excited. Yeah. It's different. Like they took Life is Strange, which I don't necessarily see as a dark game, but I don't see it as like exciting or like, colorful either. And they're putting a psychological thriller twist to it. So I'm very curious to see how that works in the genre of games. So I'm excited. I like psychological thrillers, and I like when they're done like this. So yeah, I'm just that's all I can.
It looks really cool. Like I've always been a fan of the whole Telltale thing, which I feel like
yes,
Life is Strange was kind of like the it was like the spiritual successor to that.
Like more finger quotes realistic.
Yeah, it's like I mean yeah. Especially Life is Strange, definitely. I don't know too much about it, but I'm through the grapevines on osmosis, kind of pick up stuff. But I like that whole choose your own adventure playbook approach to storytelling in video games. I think it's the gameplay is kind of taking a backseat to the narrative, which again I'm all about. And this for sure looks way more gritty than Life is Strange. Again, it just seems more mature. Again, I don't want to like take anything away from Life is Strange, but just kind of as a reference point of like a choose your own adventure book. But it looks interesting. It definitely looks like something that I would look at and be like, where has their formula gone? And what kind of story does Dot not want to tell here? And honestly, it looks pretty cool. Like when Mike said it was like a Stephen King book, it was like, yep, that nailed it. You painted that one.
Yeah, you do see a bit of the Life is Strange, and it's because like if you look at the trailer, he goes into like his own mind. The way he's able to interact with these there, was pretty trippy. That was kind of what got my attention. Was the way he kind of manipulated everything around him,
and
which I feel like many games just haven't done.
I I think that darkness, this type of genre is why I'm like, I tried to play Life is Strange because they have a demo for that, and I wasn't a fan of it. But I feel like this is more up my alley because it is that psychological thriller theme. So I'm excited to see where it goes, what happens, because it hasn't really been on radar very much. Like, I feel like I haven't really heard anything recently about any Don't Nod games besides like the Life is Strange chapter, but that was
Something.
I think Mike's.
Oh yeah, they did something. I was saying they did something else. They did Vampire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. Well, shit.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah, I was sitting here like, when I look it up, yeah, Vampire.
Huh.
See, and I heard some things about that game, but I didn't hear a lot about that game.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing ads for that.
Yeah.
That came out, like, what, recently, right?
A couple years ago.
Really?
Aren't they making
I
a
think
sequel
they're
or something?
they're doing like some kind of Ultimate Edition sequel or something.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Maybe when that comes out, I'll pay attention to it, but we hear anything. But on the next topic of coming out in December, we have Immortals Phoenix Rising. That's Phoenix spelled Fenyx because somebody decided to get hip with the kids. It is a action adventure game. It's developed by Ubisoft Quebec and it's published by Ubisoft. It is coming out on everything besides mobile. So we have PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. And that is releasing 2 days after December.
I was watching gameplay and like the the trailer and everything. This kind of looks like a goofy God of War.
Yeah, right? Like, it looked like a weird... It looked like a God of War, like, Assassin's Creed mashup.
But, like, cartoony.
With the sense of humor. Yeah.
And, I don't know, part of me has to wonder, like, I mean, I understand that obviously Ubisoft has different studios that work on different games, and these are probably Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed, and Immortals Phoenix Rising are probably. I understand that they're trying to hit different demographic targets here, but is this not like some kind of cannibalization? Having 3 like big open world games come out in the span of like a month or two. I just sort of feel like this game is gonna kind of. I'm just afraid that it might just kind of go under the radar, and people are like, "Yeah, it's okay, whatever." But they're just busy, with their other Ubisoft games. Like, I don't know. But again, this is more cartoony, so maybe it's for a different audience. I don't know. It looked interesting, but it also just kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too quick to say like Ubisoft is really bad, brr. But it just, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm just gonna say what I said about Assassin's Creed about this one. Maybe I got them reversed. Maybe this one's going to be the boring slog one, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to be the fun one. Who knew?
To me, it's like Phoenix Rising is going to be the one you get your kids while you're playing Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to put it, because honestly, like, I love mythology. I absolutely, but like, I don't know if I'm gonna play this game. Like, it looks so childish, and I don't like the art style. So no.
I see. Like, I would at least be willing to try it for sure. Just based off of like, I don't know, just almost kind of just to see like what could you possibly have done with the open world genre. Like, I don't know. I remember reading about this a while ago, like a couple of months, and I remember people kind of comparing it to Breath of the Wild in a way, but that might not be accurate. So I hope it's sort of like that in a way. Like, I'm just kind of like scared, really, like how everything really comes together. I'm not. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you go. No.
Somebody go.
I'll definitely watch it, and I'm very like, I don't know. I'll just watch it. Kind of like what I did with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, I watched like the first half hour. So I think that's what I'll do with this, and then make my decision off of that. Because honestly, like, we're in 2020. Ain't nobody got time to waste $60. Like, this isn't like, I'm just gonna do it because it looks from a trailer. No, you research it nowadays. Like, I won't even buy a McDouble without going, damn, what do I have to eat at home? And looking at my refrigerator for a half hour.
I feel like this title is probably best if you own a Switch, Like if you're predominantly like Switch player and you don't have access to something like the latest Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs Legion, and you're looking for this like big open world experience that has tons of loot, a la Assassin's Creed, then I would say go for it. Like probably going to be just probably going to just be that. I don't really see anything being inherently bad about it. I just don't see it being like better than anything that it's competing with. If that makes
So, what are our verdicts?
I'm willing to try it.
Yeah, definitely same. Definitely willing.
I'm just gonna say no. But we are children here. We are going to talk about the game that is never gonna see the light of day. And I say this because I'm just assuming that this fucking shit is a myth and isn't actually in development, is never going to see the light of day, that it's one big massive hoax. And by the time December 10th comes around, they're going to be like, haha, this is the biggest April Fool's prank we played on the world. We are actually a supervillain company. But that is Cyberpunk 2077. This game has been mentioned quite a few times on BTD because we have heard so much goddamn different news about it. First it's coming out, then it's not coming out, then it's coming out again, then it's not coming out again, and honestly, it's like fucking big. Someone says they saw Bigfoot, but then it's disproved, and then they saw Bigfoot again, and honestly, it was probably just your mom's hairy ass legs that you actually. But it is a RPG, action RPG if you forgot, first person. Like I said, it's developed and published by CD Projekt Red. It is coming out on everything besides mobile, so PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. And like I said, it is apparently coming out on December 10th. So let's briefly talk about this goddamn legend.
Yeah, if it does come out this year, hopefully. I think this is going to be the biggest game of the
year. Man, I hope so. I hope so, dude. My heart's been hurting since like March. Like April,
dude.
I can't even remember anymore, dude.
It's been
when
so
this
long.
game was originally supposed to. Like, god damn. It's like other things that are going on in the world. I just want it to stop. I just want it to happen. We can all move on with our lives. That being said, I'm still hyped. I have to be. Like, what else has been driving me these past couple months, if not pure hype? Been living off of oxygen, water, and Cyberpunk 2077 hype juice for like the past 2 years. So I'm afraid that like my vital bodily functions will cease to function after this when it comes out because I won't have the hype juice. I kind of hope that at this point it's just some long prank and I can just continually feed off the adrenaline that the hype produces so I can just continually live in this never-ending hell of will I ever achieve happiness, the plague that is hope.
I think Brennan's...
I don't know, he's saying everything I want to say. So.
Okay, well, I do have a question. So, speaking out of releases that came out this year, I feel like the only other big anticipated release, probably The Last of Us Part 2. That came out this year.
As well.
What?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, it did come out this year, but I was about to say I would put Ghost of Tsushima.
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll stick that up there too. In terms of sort of comparing all three of these, I don't want to say which one's the biggest because I feel like that's in terms of like hype and excitement automatically going to go to Cyberpunk. But which one of these, being that Ghost has already released and Last of Us has already released, which one of these do we think is going to be the biggest in terms of sale and critic score? Which I know is going to be hard because, again, Cyberpunk isn't out, only going off of the trailers that we saw so far. But what do we think is going to sell the best? What do we think is probably going to have the best?
I'm thinking Cyberpunk's going to have both the best. I was watching gameplay of it yesterday, and I almost nutted just watching this game. Like, it just looks amazing. And honestly, the only reason it's probably going to sell a lot better is because it's on 6 or 7 different platforms, where Last of Us and Tsushima were only PlayStation.
Mm,
But I
yeah.
do think it's probably going to be.
I think that while The Last of Us 2 has definitely had some critical acclaim, I just feel like, I don't know, I would be almost kind of shocked if The Last of Us 2 was picked just because of the controversy surrounded the whole game for so long. Like, I feel like you would have a lot of angry people, like, just very angry people, angry for the wrong reasons, probably too. Maybe not. I who's to say, but I just feel like that's polarization. Whereas Ghosts, it's like, yes, it was fantastic, and yes, it was good. But I guess, like Mike said, because it was a PlayStation exclusive, it just, I don't think it could possibly hit those numbers. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I think that Cyberpunk would definitely end up getting both. Hopefully, just because of the amount of time being spent on this goddamn beast. Like, you would almost hope that this gets what it deserves in terms of work being put into it. But hey, again, it's not for me to decide.
It'll be like, I still don't know a lot about Cyberpunk. I've stayed away from a lot of the gameplay. So I'm extremely curious to know just overall, like, what the fuck is this fucking game? Like, all you hear is Cyberpunk, all you see is Cyberpunk, and you have a bajillion customization options all the way down to fingernails. And it's like, is that it? Is it Sims? Is that what I'm doing? Like,
So the only thing that I can really compare it to, and I feel like I'm even doing it kind of injustice just saying this, is like, it feels and looks like Deus Ex, but just hyped up. Like Deus Ex turned up to 11. Like if
like
Deus Ex is like a 4 or something on the crazy scale, this is like an 11. But it looks and feels similarly, probably.
I'm just curious to see if this is something that I'll play or not, because when I've seen the trailers at past E3s, I was like, okay, that looks really cool. But I hear all this hype and I see everyone's excited, and I feel like the one thing I don't want to do is to get caught up in that hype, especially when I'm iffy on if it's something I'm going. So I feel like if someone's on the fence about this game, again, like always with my recommendations, I would definitely watch it before I. And I mean, it's coming out right close to Christmas time, so that can be something that you last minute slap on your Christmas list for mom and dad to get you. Don't let them lie to you and say that Santa's. But,
Damn.
spoilers.
Wait, Santa's not real?
It's okay, Brennan. Santa's real. Santa's real. Don't listen to Haley.
Santa's. What about? Wait a minute. What about the Easter Bunny?
And the New
Hey.
Year's baby. They're all real, Brendan. Don't worry. Don't listen to Haley. Haley doesn't know what she's talking about.
My head hurts.
Anyway, it's like I've 100% said this before. It's something I'm going to probably try. We've talked about this in the past, so like if you want to hear all of our real opinions, go watch those. But there's honestly not much to say besides, is this thing actually coming out or what?
I hope
keep
so.
seeing-
At
It's
this
on
time.
gold like 3 times.
Like, the fuck, guys? What the fuck?
Keep seeing like rumor, like it's gonna be delayed until 2021, and I'm like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Don't do this.
Honestly, I think if
We're
it's
so
delayed
close.
again, it's dead. I think it's just dead.
Oh no! If it delays again, there's gonna be riots.
But, like, that's what I mean. Like, if it's delayed again, I honestly don't think anything, like, fucking CD Projekt Red's probably just a bunch of holograms. You're gonna go to where their office is, and it's just a whole bunch of, like, holograms, and, it's a supercomputer that's pushing out shit. Robots. Not real.
Wow, that's real cyberpunk, huh?
I
I was
hate
just
you.
about to say that.
I hate you.
Say that.
I hate you so much.
Oh, that's really good idea for this game.
God damn it! No, I take that back. CD Projekt Red, don't you listen? God damn it! They're gonna be like, damn that Haley girl. We have to delay it again because that's a good idea. We need to stick it in our game. I apologize now. I'm very sorry. But
It should be.
yeah. I mean, Brennan's gonna play it. Mike's gonna play it. Haley's gonna try it. Ain't too
Yeah, I've
much
already
more.
bought like 6 copies.
Why am I not?
Every platform I could buy it on.
Also, sorry if you can hear my. But I gotta stop saying like that.
Yeah.
But joke. Anyway, so the last thing that we are going to talk about today for the last regular episode of BTD is release of the latest gen consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox One, or the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. So I have both. I have the 5 and these S. Mike said he might pick one up later. I don't know about Brennan. But I'll briefly give a rundown of my experience with the launches. So I pre-ordered PlayStation from Target and I the Xbox from Microsoft, their official store. The PlayStation arrived with the Xbox arrived with no issue on launch day. Got a tracking number right from the Microsoft store. They put a authorization hold on my account like a couple of days before it released to make sure the funds were there, and that was about it. So that was really simple. And then we get over to Target and my PlayStation. Target, no, I think this is just a Target thing. Target would put an authorization hold every couple days on my account from when I pre-ordered September, when it released in November. So I had to keep $530 in my account from September to November. And then for once release day hit, all it said was label, and they didn't take my money out. I didn't know if it was shipping. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't get my PlayStation until 2 days after the release date, and thankfully it arrived. It arrived in a massive box because the PlayStation, my box wasn't opened or tampered with, but I have seen that a lot of people's are ending up missing. They are like lost in transit, stolen, damaged, whatever, whatnot. So I would definitely say it was very stressful because I was very scared that my PlayStation wasn't going to make it to me at all. And that was probably the scariest thing ever because Target took my money and then I was like, oh, okay. So it was a shit show. And I think Sony could have helped its retailers by not releasing 2 days later Microsoft, because I feel like the reason why the PlayStation launch was so bad and a lot of people didn't get their consoles on release day was because those retailers were shipping Xboxes, 2 days. So all in all, it fucking sucked.
It sucks.
I don't know. These consoles aren't pressing.
Yeah, same. It's like I was looking forward to Spider-Man Miles Morales and Demon Souls, but Spider-Man just doesn't seem like it's worth it for the price, in my opinion. So I'm just kind of holding back.
I feel like nobody should rush to get either. If you have a decent, can just get the Game Pass for Microsoft.
Yeah, Xbox.
Like, just get that and play all your games on there. And if you're holding out for a PlayStation 5, honestly, just wait until next year. Or, like, a lot of the games are coming out on the older generation. So just grab it on your PS4.
Yeah, that's personally what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get the Xbox because I have a PC. So all the shit that comes out on the Xbox, I get on my PC. Completely redundant Xbox. But PS5, I'm just waiting for more exclusives to drop and give me a really good reason to buy one.
I honestly think that's the smartest. And like, I have been stalking PlayStation 5 subreddit, so a lot of people who aren't happy that they haven't been able to get one. I know a couple people that I work with. Every day they keep trying and trying and trying to get one. But honestly, like, there's nothing out right now that really warrants you to get any. Like, I'm just one of those people where as soon as it was announced, I was like, I'm buying it. There's no doubt in my mind I'm getting it. Whether it be now or whether it be later, I knew I was purchased. But I feel like if you're on the fence, or if you know somebody who wants it for Christmas and you can't get your hands on it for them, don't be disappointed. I feel like your best bet would get to them. Maybe get them like an IOU or something. But just don't be disappointed if you don't get a next-gen console, because release was absolutely...
Can't expect any more from Sony.
Honestly, the fact that you actually expected something from them is surprising in the first place. But Something else to say about the thing.
The PS5 is big as hell.
Yes, it is very big. I have it sitting next to my monitors right now. It is over a foot tall. I haven't played the Xbox at all because the Xbox is my boyfriend's. The only thing we've done is watch Netflix on it, so it runs that great. Like I said, I have been playing the Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the PS5. And I've played Astro's Playroom. Astro's Playroom is really cool. It's a lot of fun. It's super cute. And it definitely highlights haptic feedback and everything within PS5 controller. I'm not the biggest fan of update. I definitely prefer the older style, but it's not too different. This one's just a lot more rounded. Everything is where the joysticks were a lot more defined on the old one. This one really where before you had the actual circles drawn out for that lay below the four direction, that's not there anymore. It's a lot more rounded defined as before. It's kind of giving me Xbox controller vibes, but it is what in terms of size, it definitely is a chunky boy. It's very tall. I would not recommend laying this down wide, and you're gonna lose a lot of space. I personally have it standing on my desk and my monitor because that's the only place it would fit. So, yeah. And you can't sit anything on top of it because it's not perfectly flat. I apologize if you're into stacking.
Boo.
Brenda's like, fuck that, I'm not buying one.
Yeah, what's the point? If I can't stack, what's the point?
You can stack the box. Also, I've kept my box because I'm to throw it away. One, because eventually, but two, I'm also afraid to stick it out for the trash. So somebody be like, the bitch got PS5, let's go break into her house.
You know, I was already planning it.
Well, you heard it here. Here we go. Gotta get a restraining order. God damn it. This is the reason why I can't have anything
20 states
nice.
away. 20 states away, get a restraining order.
Yeah, this guy I like talked to, you even know his last name. No. I don't even know what he looks like, but he said he was gonna break into my house, so I think that's a reliable threat right there. But enough of Haley rambling about now that she's broke, made money, but it is what it is. We are going to toss it over to final thoughts. That's THOT.
Wow, my final thought. Eivor.
Oh wait, let me
Probably.
rephrase. This is your final thought for the year.
Yeah, Eivor.
Oh.
Mill Eivor, so.
I hate myself because it just finally clicked what he was talking about. I hate myself. I'll just see. Mike, who's your final thought?
Send CD Projekt Red emails saying, please do not delay Cyberpunk again.
Got some thoughts here.
I want to play this game. I've been waiting, like, what, a year now? After all the delays, please let me have a happy holiday. Cyberpunk.
Just realized that the joke went head and that makes me happy.
Yeah, my actual final thought is I want Cyberpunk for Christmas and a COVID vaccine.
That too.
Yeah, if you buy the limited edition of Cyberpunk, it comes with it.
Oh my god.
Don't give anyone the idea. I guess my final thought. I'm gonna give it to Ellie. She's pretty badass. Gonna swing it to my girl. But my actual final thought is my actual final thought is I just hope next year's a little bit better for everyone, every aspect, not racist, but I hope with the next gens, games are better, games are thorough, we get more polished, Ubisoft and fucking you like always. And we just have a better year next than what we did. Everyone can bounce back from having such a hard year and go on to be successful and flourish and everything just good again. Yeah. What?
I said everything be cool.
Yeah. And with that, I have one last thing. The gang and I are all Easter next month. Some of you might be sad. Do not cry. We will be hopping to a new channel with a new rendition of BTD name. So when we come next month for our Game of the Year episode, we'll announce the channel name as well as new name for the new and improved Buy It, Try It, or Deny It podcast. Fret, we still be around, just not hanging out with the game crew, which I give thanks to them for hosting us for these past years and allowing us to share our creative thoughts, our feelings about video, giving us an outlet, discuss every had, and just bullshit about something that we absolutely said. Next month we'll definitely be letting you all know where we are so you can find us come January in the new 2021 year. We'll definitely be giving detailed thanks next month, but I just wanted to put this out there now so y'all know that we might be GameLuster, not leaving your ear. Sorry, stuck with us. That's that. So, wrapping it up for Buy It, Try It, or Deny It for the month of December 2020. It's your girl Haley with Mike and Brennan. We will see you. Goodbye.
Laters.